I remember when we were coming here, we were asked, well, why are you going to the Baikal-Amur main line? It seems like you have everything at home. And then Vitya and I said that he was 25 years old, and I was 25 years old. Together, we were 50 years old. But basically, well, we hadn't done anything.
Absolutely right. We went to the Baikal-Amur main line because we wanted to be alone, to test our resilience, because after all, we were under our parents' care there. Well, it was interesting here to see how we would start living on our own, without help, without help from parents, yes.
Honestly, I say, at home he could barely hammer a nail into the wall. It's true. And here, look at this. He built this house from scratch. From the ground up to the roof, and everything you see here in the apartment, all the furniture, he built it all himself. He's already a man. You can, as they say, certainly rely on him. The first red tomatoes. Here they are. We salt them. For a try. For a try, yes. These are our first ones. The first woman with tomatoes. The road grows there. It's a treat for the kids. Parsley dill. There's permafrost here. But we have garden beds. See, we raised them a bit higher. And everything grows well. The main thing is to put in the effort. After all, they didn't used to set up greenhouses here. The local residents, and now they have also caught on, and they too have greenhouses and are harvesting early vegetables. So we have all the essential greens that are absolutely necessary for our recipe we need. After the May captivity, we were immediately given a bigger garden, expanded it. Now, if you walk around the village, you'll see that each house has its own +1 plot, even if it's small. It's still far to bring everything here, and you can't transport fresh greens, right? Basically, we came here because he has a construction specialty, but I didn't have such a specialty to work here. Well, we did various jobs. I worked as a carpenter at first, yes, and the branch cutters called us axe wielders, and we dug the pits ourselves too. Then they saw that I was a sturdy girl, even though I had no education, and made me the boiler room manager. I had cooks, painters, and seamstresses, but no chefs. This is our first boiler room. I even still have the book of complaints and suggestions. The reviews there are like this. Today we had rice porridge called paste, or thanks to the girls for the dumplings that resemble flour glue. Well, we didn't know how to cook at first, but then we learned, and by the end we were cooking quite well too. Well, Vitya said it right here that we came here to test our resilience. Indeed. We often watch TV shows, like the quiz show for adults, and there's a lot written about workers. Nowadays, there are many problems with divorce. And we keep thinking, why do young people get married, guys, right? They have nothing, not a stick nor a yard. And they just sit at home waiting for the weather to change, maybe hoping their mom will build a cooperative or something. Why aren't they going? There are so many construction projects now. They could go not to develop the Black Earth region, but here to the Baikal-Amur main line. Yes, various Komsomol construction projects. It's so great to start on your own.
In every way, of course, it's much better here. Indeed, the earnings are good, and everything is specialized after all. I believe that I have gained experience here as both a carpenter and an installer. I believe that all of this will be useful in life. Well, it's generally interesting. An interesting job. Yes, right now I currently have plans to finish up here in the village. Our stores should be finished soon, and the head of the bridge construction team promised to send the section to the bridges.
The road was washed out and we returned by barge, upstream in the river. And the river settled in general, the water receded, and our barge, well, it ran aground. Well, we lived on that barge for about 5 days, I guess. All the food had already run out, and they still couldn't find us. A helicopter noticed us and flew over, but how to take us, I don't know. And there on the hangar is a scythe. Like this scythe, you see? A powerful scythe. And the helicopter, you see, lands on this spit, and the ground there is loose and the wheels sink in, so it had to hover, you see, it couldn't land while hovering. This helicopter is holding up, and we also need to get to the spit. And there was this, well, kind of like rapids, with a small boat. So we crossed over one person at a time, like in a kayak. And we almost crawled to that helicopter because the propeller was spinning so fast, the sand was flying everywhere, but we managed to crawl up the ladder and get in. It was just like in the movies. This is something we will remember for the rest of our lives. And the places here are so beautiful, just look. This is the Upper Angara. Baikal flows in. Vitya and I both dream of drifting downstream in the river. Straight ahead, right to Baikal. To watch. A house is a house, of course, but we like these places. And you know, if we leave, we might miss it a lot. At least we know that many of the folks who left have come back. They have already returned and live here. And those who haven't returned, they miss it. I listen to broadcasts, write letters. They miss it. They say that if you've been to Siberia once, you'll always want to come back. And the second time, if you come here, you won't leave. I think that when they grow up, they will definitely be good people. They are already good because they are not as spoiled here as in the cities. They still lack a lot here. There aren't as many toys, no ice cream, and no lemonade. I think there's more spiritual nourishment here, even for children. Think about it. This is arguably the third generation of Baikal-Amur mainline settlers. The third generation, meaning our offspring. And they will surely have to build cities here, construct hydroelectric power stations, factories, and who knows what else. Because Siberia is so rich, it will definitely be settled. It will be settled for centuries to come. You know, I think they will be proud. They will be proud that they were born here, in Nabam. And that the parents also built this Baikal-Amur main line and participated in a truly great construction. Oh, how we waited for the first train. It arrived on New Year's Eve, December 29th, 1981. Essentially, we had a double celebration. The frost was severe in the morning, or maybe it was due to our elevated mood, but somehow we didn't feel the cold. So everyone came to the station dressed very festively, in modern boots and short fur coats. Well, after an hour, we certainly started to feel the cold, but still, everyone was in high spirits, cheerful. They started selling tea in the buffets and champagne. Of course, we all drank champagne for the arrival of the first train. We started singing songs, and so many people gathered here at the station. Well, you can imagine the whole village. He was all there. Well, it was bustling with people, and the people gathered here were those who built, who were directly involved in the construction of this station, this road. People of all nationalities gathered here, both Russians, Buryats, Lithuanians, and Ukrainians. Somehow the differences between nationalities, between our groups like the Estonians, Lithuanians, and Leningraders were not felt. We were all united here, you could say, as Novo-Uyans. Simply put, we were all Novo-Uyans. And it was such a big celebration for everyone. When the train arrived, everyone wanted to touch it, to feel it a little. And this ribbon, used for the opening ceremony, everyone took it apart into pieces. Vitya and I, of course, didn't get any, but we came over and there was this stone. We carefully picked up a small, smooth stone here near the sleepers and wrote you a heartfelt new message on December 29th, 1981. Now the road stretches far into the distance, and the long Baikal-Amur main line moves slowly away from us. Along with the road, our husbands also leave. They now have to build many bridges even further, closer to the distant Severomuyski tunnel. Well, for us wives, it's our fate to wait for them, to work here in the village, raise the children, and wait for our husbands. In a couple of weeks, my Vitya will also be going to the bridges, and I'll be waiting with my boys too. Well, the longer the separation, the sweeter the reunion. There's some charm in that too, isn't there?